Bonjour et bienvenue à French with Monique. Hi, welcome to French with Monique. La dernière fois, nous avons fait les expressions simples avec le verbe être. The last time, we made simple sentences, simple expressions with the verb to be. Et aujourd'hui, nous allons utiliser le verbe avoir dans les expressions. And today, we are going to use the verb to have in our expressions. We had talked about two important verbs in French. And remember, or we had learned earlier, that these are not the only important verbs in French. These verbs are important because they are verbs in themselves and then they are helping verbs. So you see, they have relevance even in the kingdom of verbs, yes, because even as a human being, if you can give back what you have, you are very relevant. So these verbs are very relevant because they are verbs first in themselves, they help themselves, and then they help other verbs. And so they are also termed helping verbs. And the last time we talked about the verb to be. Today we'll be talking about the verb to have. Or there is something very special with the verb to have, which is avoir. We have learned that avoir simply translates to have in English. So when we're talking about ownership, possession, when something belongs to you, oh, I have this, I have that. But today we are going to learn that it is not only possession and ownership that avoir can be used for. Avoir goes beyond that, up to even age, sensations, and feeling. And so I'll be introducing you into common expressions that uses the verb avoir. These expressions never use the verb être. And so one thing you should note when learning the French language is that you don't do word for word translation. If not, you'll be misled. I will start with reminding us of how to conjugate the verb avoir again. We had treated it in one of our past classes, but as Madame Monique, I'm going to still do la revision, a little revision on it. J'ai is I have. Tu as, you have. Il a, he has. Elle a, she has. On a, someone has. So don't forget that il, elle, on are always together because they have the same conjugated form of their verbs. All the verbs in French, these three personal pronouns would always be together. After them, we have nous avons, meaning we have. And after that, we have vous avez, meaning you have for a formal setting. And then finally, we have ils ont, they have, for masculine, and elles ont, meaning they have for feminine. So that is a conjugated form of the verb avoir. And so if I want to say, I have a book, I have a book. So a book in French is un livre. That is a textbook. Un livre. A textbook is different from an exercise book in French. So a textbook is un livre, while an exercise book is un cahier. So I'm going to use un livre. J'ai un livre. I have a book. If you want to say you have a book, how would you say it? Tu as un livre, because tu as is you have, and un livre is a book. How about he has a book? Remember that he has is il a. So we say il a un livre. She has a book. Elle a un livre. Someone has a book. On a un livre. We have a book. Nous avons un livre. You have a book for a formal setting. Vous avez un livre. They have a book for only the masculine gender would be ils ont un livre. And they have a book for a feminine gender would be elles ont un livre. I told you earlier that avoir goes beyond using it for possessions and for ownership. So we'll be seeing avoir being used in other expressions that concern sensation, feelings, and even age. If you remember, in one of our classes, we had talked about how to express our age. And we had learned in that class that even though in English, if I am 10 years old, I simply say I am 10 years old. And if you want to follow it word for word in French, it would have come up to be je suis, because I am in French is je suis. And then 10 years old is 10 ans, because this is 10 and then an is years old. So I am 10 years old. If you want to follow it word for word, will be je suis 10 ans. But I am even afraid, like I can't even say that word. Like it is wrong. C'est faux. C'est faux. C'est jamais. On ne utilise ça jamais. We never use that in French. We never use the verb être to say your age. You can never say je suis 10 ans. C'est faux. In fact, you may be arrested. That's on a lighter mood though. So you cannot say that. You use the verb avoir, because avoir means to have. And in French, when you're expressing your age, you're simply saying, I have this number of years, or I've lived this number of years. So that's what it literally means. So you're using the verb avoir to express your age. And so you can't say je suis, which means I am. You say j'ai, which means I have. So if you want to forget it, you can say, oh, I have 10 years old. Yeah, because you're trying to say you have lived 10 years old, or these are the number of years you have lived. So you say j'ai 10 ans. J'ai 10 ans. If you're 20, 20 is 20. So you say j'ai 20 ans. J'ai 20 ans. If probably you're 30, 30 is 30. So you say j'ai 30 ans. J'ai 30 ans. Anytime you want to express age, irrespective of the personal pronoun, you must accompany it with the conjugated form of the verb avoir. The correct conjugated form of the verb avoir with that partner. So remember, j'ai is I have. So j'ai 10 ans. You are 10 years old. Will be tu as 10 ans. He is 10 years old. Il a 10 ans. Elle a 10 ans. On a 10 ans. Nous avons 10 ans. Vous avez 10 ans. Ils ont 10 ans. Et elles ont 10 ans. So I use all the personal pronouns with their conjugated form of the verb avoir to express age, just for variety, for you to know that it is not only limited to the first person. All other persons, all other personal pronouns still use the verb avoir when talking about their age. Other expressions that use the verb avoir are expressions of feeling. For example, I am hungry and I am thirsty. To be hungry and to be thirsty does not use the verb être. You have to be hungry, and we know that the verb être means to be. But we can't use it because in French also, when you're talking about hunger or thirst, you're trying to tell someone that, oh, you have a feeling of being hungry, or you have a feeling of hunger or thirst. So faim is for hunger, while soif is for thirst. So you say avoir faim means to be hungry, not to have hungry, even though avoir means to have. You know, when you're translating it to English, you cannot speak wrong English. So you speak correct French and correct English. You won't say, oh, my French is interfering with English. So since avoir is to have, I will say to have hungry. It doesn't really make sense, right? So just for you to understand these nuances and try to apply them. So you have to conjugate avoir. You're saying avoir faim. So just conjugate avoir and then just add faim to it. So j'ai faim, tu as faim, il a faim, elle a faim, on a faim, nous avons faim, vous avez faim, ils ont faim et elles ont faim. Je me répète, et cette fois plus lentement. I'm going to repeat it, and this time more slowly. J'ai faim. I am hungry. Tu as faim. You are hungry, for a familiar situation. Il a faim. Elle a faim. On a faim. So he is hungry, she is hungry, and someone is hungry. Nous avons faim. We are hungry. Vous avez faim. You are hungry, for a formal situation. And ils ont faim. Elles ont faim. They are hungry for the masculine gender and they are hungry for the feminine gender. Plural. But when it's plural for masculine gender is ils ont faim, and when it's plural for feminine gender is elles ont faim. Same thing for thirst. It's as simple as thirst is soif. So avoir soif is to be thirsty. So simply you just do what we just did with be hungry. So avoir soif. You conjugate avoir and just add soif. So if I'm thirsty, I say j'ai soif. J'ai soif. Tu as soif. You are thirsty. Il a soif. Elle a soif. On a soif. He is thirsty. She is thirsty. Someone is thirsty. Nous avons soif. We are thirsty. Vous avez soif. You are thirsty. Ils ont soif. They are thirsty for masculine plural. Elles ont soif. They are thirsty for feminine plural. So you see, just to conjugate your avoir and attach faim or soif. When you want to talk about the temperature of a place, maybe you want to say it is cold or it is hot. Basically, when you want to express that the weather is cold or it is hot, you still use avoir. Avoir froid et avoir chaud. So froid is for cold, while chaud is for hot. Répétez après moi, froid. Froid. So there's an R there, but when I want to use it, the nasal sound, you may not really hear froid. For warm or for hot, it is chaud. So basically in French, when you're expressing that you're hot or cold, you're trying to say you have the feeling of being cold. You have it. You have cold, or you have the feeling of being warm. So you use avoir. So same thing we did to hunger and thirst is what we're still going to do for cold and hot. So since froid is cold, you just attach it to avoir, avoir froid, and then you conjugate the verb avoir, attaching froid to it. For this particular one, I'm not going to say it. I want you to write it in the comment section with what you have learned, following the pattern we have learned with hunger, thirst. I want you to do for cold, avoir froid, while I will do for hot, avoir chaud. So, j'ai chaud, I am hot. Tu as chaud, you are hot. Il a chaud, elle a chaud, on a chaud. He is hot, she is hot, someone is hot. You feel hot. Oh, il fait chaud, j'ai chaud. Et nous avons chaud, vous avez chaud, ils ont chaud, and elles ont chaud. Now, the spelling, as you see the spelling with a D at the end, remember we had learned on this channel that the last consonants in French are rarely pronounced unless they have a word that follows them that begins with a vowel. So you can't say showed. That pronunciation is wrong. C'est une prononciation fausse. It's a wrong pronunciation. So basically, people just express it as il fait chaud, il fait froid. That means it is hot, it is cold. If you want to attach it to personal pronouns, you use the verb avoir. We have done 5 expressions with the verb avoir. On continue. When you want to express shame, you want to express shame, maybe you are shy, you still use the verb avoir. Avoir honte. Avoir honte. Conjugate your verb avoir and add honte. So honte is the shame there. J'ai honte. Oh, I'm ashamed. Tu as honte. You are ashamed. Il a honte. And as we have been saying, so you can also add that to your homework and write it in the comment section. If you also want to express that you have a need of something, you use avoir. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. I need water, food. You use avoir. Avoir besoin de. Avoir besoin de. Then you now add whatever you need. So let's say I need food. Food in French is la nourriture. La nourriture. Now, when you want to say you need food, you will throw away the la. The de must be there. So you say avoir besoin de nourriture. You cannot say avoir besoin de la nourriture. Those two cannot stand like that when it comes to besoin de. Avoir besoin de nourriture. So if I need food, I will conjugate avoir, then I'll add besoin de, and then I'll add nourriture. So j'ai besoin de nourriture. That means I need food. Or if you want to make it simpler for you, I have need of food. Tu as besoin de nourriture. You have need of food. You need food. Il a besoin de nourriture. Elle a besoin de nourriture. On a besoin de nourriture. Nous avons besoin de nourriture. Vous avez besoin de nourriture. Ils ont besoin de nourriture. Elles ont besoin de nourriture. That is when you need something. Also, when you want something, when you really desire something, you use the verb avoir. Avoir envie de. I really want this. I desire this. Envie de. J'ai envie de dormir. J'ai envie de manger. I want to eat. I desire to eat. So, you see that these are all the common expressions that uses the verb avoir. There are still others, but these are your go-to daily, because every day you're hungry, every day you're thirsty, every day can be hot or cold. It depends. Sometimes you want to express shame. Oh, I'm ashamed, right? Sometimes you want to express what you need or what you desire. There you have it. The verb avoir is there to help you. I hope you found value for this lesson, and don't forget to do your homework. Remember, you're to use avoir froid to express yourself in all the personal pronouns. I'll be expecting it in the comment section. For now, à bientôt.